And we are back. Apologies for those technical issues there. Typical EA and Codemasters. This game has been completely broken from the get-go, but we're just making the best of it as we can. So previously we were doing a full qualifying session, because we've had to restart the lobby. That has cost us some time, so we have now reverted back to a short qualifying session. So what that means is anyone who DNF'd in the previous qualifying session will not be permitted to set a lap in this session, but anyone else, it's just a normal short qualifying session. So because it is short qualifying, the tyre that you set the fastest lap time on in this session will be the tyre that you start on. You can see the strategy differences already here. We do have a number of drivers who have opted for the medium tyre start. You've got the likes of Toddy Bear, Dirty Chewbacca and Percy all on the medium tyre for the start. And what's interesting about that actually is I believe it was the opposite for our Division 1 race. So what actually was the case was that the majority of drivers were looking to start on the medium tyre, with the odd driver starting on the soft tyre. So it's interesting to see how these drivers are thinking about this in different ways. So first driver out on track is the Alfa Romeo of Just Honor. We do have our first retiree of the session. It's Roberts, and Just Honor is heading into the pits. Interestingly enough, potentially a change of strategy for the Alfa Romeo, potentially looking to swap over to those medium tyres. We'll find out. We do have a number of drivers on out laps. Count Dooku is on a flying lap as it stands at the minute. It's got DRS down the back straight here. And the Ferrari is looking to set a very nice time indeed. Let's see what he can do. And the Ferrari driver is on the soft tyres currently. It's got this first chicane to navigate. And so far so good. It looks like it's been invalidated. Disappointing there for Count Dooku, who will need to go again. Just having a look to see what other drivers. iZombie is apparently on a flying lap, but he does not appear to be going too fast. Potentially straight into another flying lap attempt here now. Although he has not allowed a huge amount of space between him and Count Dooku and the Ferrari, so that could potentially cost him some time. You can see he has set a time on the board. It's a 1:29.8, but I do imagine that's going to be quite a bit off the pace as we move over to AMG Smithy, who sets a 1:27.6. DXT Viper with a 1:25.2. If we look on board at RKA 25, he is set in purple sectors here as Namibian boy crosses the line with a 1:24. You can see the times being set here are massively different. RKA 25 currently setting the fastest purple sector in Sector 2. He's making his way through Sector 3. Does have Hans in the Williams just directly ahead of him, but it is not causing any trouble for him. In fact, potentially even a little slipstream or two down the pit straight, and it is a 1:23.9 on the medium tyres for RKA 25. Very nice indeed. Let's just have a look to see what other drivers we have. Mecha 84 has invalidated that attempt. They're going to need to go again. Let's have a look to see where iZombie is. He's crossing onto the pit straight. DRS wide open for the Alpine driver, and it's a 1:23.5, fastest lap of the session. Just bear in mind he is on the soft tyres, and I Love Max first is a 1:23.6 on the soft tyres as well. Let's have a look and see. Namibian boy as well setting. We've got a number of drivers who are setting good times on those soft tyres, and then you have the likes of RKA25 and CAS420 who are currently down in 4th and 5th as a result of the medium tyre choice. Will they stick with that medium tyre choice and compromise being at the top of the pack for what could potentially be a better strategy long term, or will they be thinking to themselves that they potentially want to head into the pits and potentially change that strategy? Does look like Toddy Bear is on a flying lap. Oh no! Oh, disaster for Toddy Bear in the Red Bull. You can just see how deadly those curbs are. Just putting too much of the tyre on the curb and then a bit too much throttle, and you can just see how damaging that is to what could be a very good lap. And unfortunately for the Red Bull, he has retired there. It is all down to his teammate Dirty Chewbacca to potentially pull something out of the bag here and get those Red Bulls up. And you can see the two Williams now up in 4th and 5th as well. Very, very nice times indeed from both of those drivers. And you can see RKA25 and CAS420 dropping down the pecking order a little bit here. So again, interesting to see what happens. RKA25 is in the pits at the moment. We're waiting to see if he will come out with a change of strategy. There is 10 minutes left on the session. Plenty of time to change strategy, to get back out for another attempt on those tyres. He's got plenty of time to pull something out of the bag here. CAS420 is on a flying lap attempt at the minute. He has saved a little bit of time, but not really enough to do anything to his starting position as it stands, or his provisional starting position as it stands, as he makes his way to the chicane here. He has set a purple sector 2 time. That is a good effort, but unfortunately, oh no! Oh, it's an unfortunate retirement for CAS420, who firstly invalidated that lap attempt and then just lost it and into the barrier for the AlphaTauri. Our leader in the Drivers' Championship has retired, and it's an unfortunate retirement indeed. And actually, almost the exact same place that Toddy Bear had retired as well. So really, really unfortunate for Kaz. Just having a look now at some of the other drivers. Count Dooku still yet to set a time. He is coming through sector 3 here. He's got DRS wide open down the back straight. Oh, going a bit wide onto the grass a little bit, but not invalidated, but potentially has cost him a little bit of time. He's just got 2 more corners to wrestle with here. What sort of time can he get on the board with those soft tyres? It's a 1:23.9. And just looking at RKA25, he's not happy with that strategy. He is changing from the mediums to the soft tyre. We did discuss this potentially happening, and it has happened. So the only other drivers who are still opting for that soft tyre, we can see the medium tyre. You can see Dirty Chewbacca in the Red Bull opting for this medium tyre. His teammate did have an unfortunate retirement, so it is all in his hands now in terms of how high he can get that Red Bull up there. does want a good starting position. Let's see what he can do. And it's a 1:25.1 for the Red Bull of Dirty Chewbacca. The only other drivers yet to set time, it does look like Tom Tarka is not going to be setting a time, I believe, and Percy and Boscombe Boy won't be setting times. So it does look like we have the majority of our drivers have setting times. Let's go on board with RK25, who is starting his flying lap attempt on the soft tyres. Can he get provisional pole with 7 minutes left on the clock? Let's see, he's heading through sector 1 here. I would imagine that he will be saving time on his best time. That was set on the medium tyres, and you can see he's already saved 0.7 seconds and sets the fastest sector 1 time. That is a purple sector for RK25. Very, very nice indeed for the Aston Martin driver as he makes his way into sectors 2. What he needs to do is keep this lap clean. He cannot afford any mishaps with the curbs here. And that was very clean indeed from the Aston Martin. He's probably made his way through the most treacherous part of the track and into sector 3. What sort of time can he save in sectors 3? His previous time was a 1:23.9. The provisional pole time is a 1:23.4. As it stands, he will be a provisional pole. What is the time? It is a 1:22.1. He has saved 1.7 seconds, and that is him into provisional pole with over a second gap to P2. That is a very, very nice time from RKA25. And we just need to wait and see, is anyone going to challenge him for that top spot? A lot of drivers in the pits at the minute. Hans in the Williams is out, but does have an invalidated lap attempt. Although Namibian Boy has saved 0.6 seconds on his time. This is very good. Could he put RK25 under some pressure for the provisional pole spot? Let's see what Namibian Boy can do on the soft tyres. Oh no! Disaster for the Ferrari driver. He was up on his best time and he was doing a fantastic lap. And again, you can just see he's just put a bit too much on the curb there, a bit too much throttle, and the rear end just gave in and just flung him into the barrier essentially. So that is disaster as iZombie comes racing past on his flying lap attempt through sectors 2. Can he make any improvements? At the minute he isn't. He's 0.4 seconds up on his best time. He's got to find some time here in sector 3, but can he find enough time to make a dent in his best time? And is anyone going to challenge RK25 for the provisional pole spot? That is the golden question right now. DRS4 iZombie down the pit straight, and he marginally saves time, but just not enough to do anything. It does look like he's going straight into another flying lap attempt here. Can he find any time in sectors 1? Challenge is the more laps he's doing on these soft tyres, the more degraded they're going to be for the race start, which is not really what you want, especially on a track that is quite demanding in terms of tyre wear. We can see he has saved 0.3 on his best time, which is very, very nice indeed, although it is not enough to change his starting position. It will bump him up to P2, but not enough for provisional pole at this stage. He is saving more time, 0.6 seconds, 6/10. He is shaved off. That does bring him into the 122s provisionally. What can he find in sector 3 here? Oh, that rear end sliding there a little bit, but he's got DRS. He's down the pit straight, and it is a 123 dead. That does bring him up into P2, but again, it's not enough for that provisional pole spot, but I'm sure he'll be happy with P2 indeed. And the Ferrari with Count Dooku, his teammate, was on an absolute flyer, potentially challenging for pole position, and then just lost it. Count Dooku has invalidated that lap attempt, so he'll need to go again if he wants to improve his starting position from P7. And DXT Viper 0.7 seconds down on his best time. Actually, he's going through sector 1 now on a flying lap attempt. Not sure why that was saying 0.7 seconds. Oh, there is yellow flags for a car. Oh, it's iZombie. It doesn't cause any disruption for DXT Viper as he makes his way into sector 2. And into sector 3, the Mercedes driver goes. His teammate, I Love Max Verstappen, up in P4 at the minute. Can he get close to his teammate? Let's find out. As Dirty Chewbacca sets a 123.3, and DXT Viper heads into the pits. Dirty Chewbacca up into P3. That's a fantastic starting position for that Red Bull. Exactly where he wants to be. I'm sure he wants to be up on provisional pole, but P3 as it stands is a very, very nice place to start the race indeed. And just having a look now at the Williams of Mecca 84. Qualifying has come to an end. Mecca is on his final attempt to improve his time through sectors 1, but it does look like he is going quite slow there, and I don't think we'll see any improvement to that time. You can see he is up almost 5 seconds on his best time, and Dirty Chewbacca is on a slow lap also. RKA 25 is finding time and is potentially making improvements to his best time, which is fantastic to see. Although I don't see that we will find anyone who will be challenging him for pole position. We do have Just Honor who is out on track, but it is an invalidated lap attempt, so it is just down to RKA 25 now. Oh, he has a spin, and thankfully no DNF there, but a bit of wing damage for his troubles. Just caught the tail end of that spin just when he was setting personal bests there. And that is it for our qualifying session. Stick with us as we head into the race very shortly. And we are back for a race start. RK25 in the Aston Martin leads us away on a formation lap. Just having a look at the tyres for the start of the race. You can see the top 8 drivers are on the soft tyres. Kaz 420 opting for the medium tyres in P9, and then just behind him DXT Viper and just Tonner on the soft tyres. The only other drivers opting for the medium tyre start: AMG Smithy, Tom Tarka, Ross Wales and SYM in the Haas. So definitely a couple of different strategies coming into play. RKA25 you can see is weaving from side to side there, along with the likes of iZombie and Dirty Chewbacca behind, just trying to get those tyres into the optimum working window, getting as much temperature into them for the best possible start. And that Aston Martin is coming around the final 2 corners to take his place on the grid. We wait for the remainder of the drivers coming around the corners so we can get this race underway. You can see RKA25 edging closely to that grid spot. And we are waiting for the Haas SYM to come around and take his spot, and we can get this race started. And we are ready to go. Those 5 red lights we're waiting for. And there we have it, it's lights out and away we go. RKA25 gets a decent start off the line there. iZombie also, and both drivers make it through there without any issues. We do have cars all over the show as it stands. Toddy Bear up 4 places. Oh, and there's a hell of a dive bomb there from Count Dooku. Thankfully no damage caused there, but that was a risky move indeed. And it does look like we've made it through the first couple of corners with no harm done so far. Going back to the front runners here, we do have a virtual safety car, but we do not have a retirement at this stage, but virtual safety car just to slow things down and give us a second to breathe. So the first, our top 3 remain as is: RK25, iZombie and Dirty Chewbacca, all having a very nice start indeed. I Love Verstappen is up 1 place on Namimbian Boy, who drops a place. Kaz 420 and Hans all making gains, as well as Just Tonner. Toddy Bear up 5 places, which is a very, very impressive start indeed, probably the best start we've seen. Tyre strategy is going to be an interesting one here. The one stop can work, but it is very challenging to get right. We may see a number of drivers going for the 2 stop strategy here. Virtual safety car still is out. You can see RK25 just weaving from side to side. He does not want those tyres to get cold. And hopefully we can go racing again soon. Not sure exactly what the cause was of that virtual safety car. And there we have it. The virtual safety car has finished, and RKA 25 gets us going again. You can see he already has a 0.9 second gap to second place. Dirty Chewbacca does have iZombie in his sights, and the pressure is on. Just going back to P11, Count Dooku is right on the back of the Williams of Mecha 84. Side by side, they go into the chicane, and the Ferrari does lead into the chicane, but goes a little bit wide onto the grass, and as a result does not get the best exit out of that. Mecha 84 in the Williams, putting that Ferrari under some pressure. And we do have a DNF. It's iZombie as DNF. Not exactly sure what happened there for iZombie. It's an absolute disaster for the Alpine driver, who was so looking good there for a start, and it's all just fallen apart for iZombie. Absolute disaster. And that does move Dirty Chewbacca up into P2, and I Love Verstappen up into P3. A potential podium place here for the Mercedes driver, but it's not going to be easy. The Namimbian boy in the Ferrari is right on the edge of that Mercedes and putting it under quite a bit of pressure here. You can see there's a number of drivers all bunched up. Toddy Bear just 0.4 seconds off Just Tonner. Both drivers up 4 and 5 places respectively. Fantastic starts from those drivers. And Kaz 420, who is our drivers champion as it stands in the standings, he's up 3 places, and he's got his sights on Hans in the Williams. That Ferrari is gaining on the Mercedes. He's got DRS, he's using his ERS as well. The gap has closed, not enough to get the overtake done just yet, but he does have a couple more corners to go before we are back on the pit straight, and he will get that DRS assistance again. Let's see what he can do. He's just got one more corner, and then he is back on the pit straight again. He's got DRS open, he's using his ERS power as well, and he is gaining on the Mercedes. As he's looking at the move, he pulls out alongside the Mercedes, and he does have a look at it, but he does not get that move done, and there is contact between the two drivers, and the Ferrari spins out. The Namimbian boy does spin out there and drops down quite significantly. He does have wing damage. He's going to need to take a visit to the pits. That is an absolute disaster for the Namimbian boy, and to be honest, I'm not sure who exactly was at fault for that. It does look like the Ferrari was ahead going into the corner, and potentially the Mercedes should have yielded, although I dare say that that will be looked at post-race and in the incident reporting chat. Just looking at Hans now, who is on the back of Kaz 420. Oh, having a moment with the rear end there. And RKA 25 is absolutely flying. He has created a 5.8 second gap to P2 Dirty Chewbacca, and Dirty Chewbacca has a gap of 3.6 seconds already to P3, so not under a huge amount of pressure here. But who is under pressure? I Love Max Verstappen. Kaz 420 is fighting back here on the Mercedes, and he does concede that position quite easily indeed, and he drops down to P4 and is now under pressure from Hans in the Williams. And the Williams is looking to get a move, but the opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. But he does get one hell off an exit from that corner. He does pull alongside the Mercedes of I love Max Verstappen. And he does get that move done, however. Max Verstappen is getting DRS down that back straight there. And he is keeping within touching distance of the Williams. Oh, no. Toddy Bear does go off there. Oh, and he has a spin at the pit entry. That is not a good place for him to spin at all. And that just looks messy as anything. But he does make his way into the pits eventually. I love Max Verstappen after a fantastic start. Has dropped down a couple of places. It does look like Hans has gone off there. And he has been able to close that gap a little bit to the Williams driver. RK25 leading a fantastic race so far, and has created one hell of a gap to Dirty Chewbacca. He has started on the soft tires, but I dare say he could opt for the one-stop strategy, possibly. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what he does decide to go for, but it does feel like he could not have to push those tires as much, because he does have quite a comfortable gap, and as a result he could extend that a little bit, as Boscombe Boy does DNF. We can't see exactly where. It does look like it is in sector 3. That is not good for the Alfa Romeo or the AlphaTauri driver. It's our second DNF of the race, and we do have yellow flags out there. And Roberts heads into the pits and gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Drivers have all bunched out now. We do have Tom Tarker, who is coming up to the back of AMG Smithy. The Alpine driver is up 3 spaces from where he started the race, and he has now got his sights on the Aston Martin, so let's see what he can do. He's got DRS again. Oh, he's thinking about a move there, but just can't get it done. It's not the right opportunity for him, but he has closed that gap quite significantly. He's using his ERS, and he's thinking about the move into the chicane here. AMG Smithy does move to the side there, and Tom Tarka and Luxty both get a move. Luxty now looking for a move on Tom Tarka. He pulls out alongside the Alpine driver, and he is slightly ahead there, and he is now fully ahead into the chicane. And that is Luxty up 7 places into P10. As Hans heads into the pits and sets on a set of hard tires. Count Dooku coming up to the back of I Love Max Verstappen. Oh, going a bit wide there. That's probably cost him a little bit of time, but he is still 0.5 seconds to the Mercedes. Oh no, we've got another DNF. It's Toddy Bear who has DNF'd. It does look like, is it in the pits? Can't tell where it is. It's either on the pit straight or in the pits. Count Dooku still keeping Max Verstappen on us, but he does take a dive into the pits there, and potentially looking for the undercut there. I believe they are both on the soft tyres. Yes, they are, so it'll be interesting to see. Does he then come out ahead of I Love Max Verstappen as a result of the undercut strategy? We will find out in due course. Does come out ahead of P9, the XT Viper. That's now Luxty in the Alfa Romeo. That's now an 11-second gap the P2 RKA25 has created. That is unbelievable. And Dirty Chewbacca is probably maybe starting to feel a little bit worried now, because the gap between him and Kaz 420 is starting to close. 2.4 seconds between the two drivers, and the strategy is different. Kaz 420 on the medium tyres and Dirty Chewbacca on the soft tyres, so this is really interesting. And you can see Dirty Chewbacca does take a dive into the pits there. Will I Love Max Verstappen head into the pits as well? Let's find out. Okay, so we see the Mercedes heading into the pits. Let's keep an eye on where Count Dooku is. He's making his way through Sector 3. There's the Mercedes pit crew coming out to fit the hard tyres on the Black Arrow. And Count Dooku coming around the pit straight now. This is going to be a tight one indeed, as I Love Max Verstappen is coming to the end off the pit lane, but it is not enough. And you can see the undercut strategy has worked for Count Dooku, who speeds ahead and leaves the Mercedes in the distance. Already a 2.7 second gap. Unbelievable. The undercut strategy clearly very powerful there. And has worked a treat for Count Dooku, who now can set his focus on the Williams of Hans. 3 second gap there, but he can work to close that down. All the drivers have bunched out there a little bit. You can see Tom Tarka probably is the closest to DXT Viper, 1.2 seconds. We have done well to make it almost halfway to the race with no safety car at this stage. It's very nice to see indeed. And Dirty Chewbacca 1.7 seconds, 1.6 seconds off the Williams of Meki 84, who is ahead. I believe Meki hasn't pitted yet and is on 10 lap old hards, as Namimbian Boy does retire from the session. Oh, it's disaster for Namimbian Boy, who was, and I have jinxed it. It is a safety car out now. Safety car is out, and this could actually fall really nicely for the likes of RKA25 and Meki 84. Although RKA25, that gap that he's worked so hard to build, 14 second gap, is going to be completely reduced now. But let's see how this strategy plays out for Meki 84, who will get a very cheap pit stop indeed after 10 laps on the soft tyres. That is probably considered a little bit longer of a stint than what would normally be done on those soft tyres on this track. But he's made it work brilliantly up into P3 and can pit under safety car conditions for a very cheap pit stop indeed. So you can see RKA25 in the pits, as well as Kaz 420 making his way into the pits. Both drivers, you can see RKA25 coming out there with a set of medium tyres on. Whether he is planning on making those mediums go to the end or not entirely sure. Kaz 420 does opt for the different strategy. This is going to be interesting indeed. RKA25 on the mediums, Kaz 420 on the hards. Kaz will almost certainly be wanting to keep those hards right through to the end. Can RK25 keep those tyres in good condition on the medium tyre? And Mecha84 swapping over to the medium tyres there, dropping down the pecking order a little bit, but it is a cheap pit stop indeed. Dirty Chewbacca still in P3, but right behind Kaz 420. And Kaz is on fresh hard tyres. We are still waiting on a number of the drivers to come and form up behind the safety car. RKA25 along with a number of drivers you can see there right behind the safety car. We still have about half the grid waiting. And after having a very, very nice race indeed so far, and building a fantastic lead, that lead is completely shrunk. You can see Kaz 420 just directly behind RK25, and he will be giving the Aston Martin a run for his money, and RK25 will need to have his wits about him to keep Kaz 420 at bay. Do have another 16 laps to go. The majority of the grid have caught up. We're just waiting on the likes of Roberts and the XT Viper and Just Tonner to catch up. Safety car is with us for one more lap, although I do say that the safety car will most likely be in at the end of this lap. And you can see RK25 is anticipating it as well. He's weaving from side to side trying to get some heat into these tyres, so it's going to be really interesting whenever this race kicks off again to see the battle of the tyres. It's the medium tyres versus the hard tyres on Kaz 420's AlphaTauri. Which strategy is going to be better? can see RK25 backing that pack up, weaving from side to side. As the safety car makes its way towards the pits. And the safety car makes its way into the pits. RK25 now he sets the pace for the rest of the grid. And he takes off. Kaz 420 not far behind at all. He's got a nice slipstream. And RK25 is moving to try and break the slipstream. Dirty Chewbacca under pressure from the Williams of Hans. He has to... Oh! Hans makes contact with the Ferrari of Count Dooku there after having to take diversion action onto the grass, and coming back onto the grass just loses it. Hans was in a fantastic place there and it's just dropped right the way down again. It's an absolute disaster for the Williams driver, and Count Dooku up 4 places into P4 and right behind Dirty Chewbacca in the Red Bull, who is also not far off Kaz 420, and Kaz is putting some immense pressure under RKA25. Again, a little bit of a slipstream being gained there for the AlphaTauri. The chicane is a tricky one, and both drivers make it through okay. Got yellow flags out. Looks like a Haas is slowing down there. RKA25 has extended the gap there a little bit. There is no DRS assistance just yet for Kaz 420. Count Dooku is gaining on Dirty Chewbacca as well. Hans and Just Tonner both take a dive into the pits. And Ross Wheels is closing the gap to the XT Viper. And already RKA25 is continuing to build that gap. 0.5 seconds now, or sorry, 1.5 seconds now separate him and P2. Kaz 420 really trying to keep the pressure on the Aston Martin, but the Aston Martin is just starting to pull away a little bit more. But Count Dooku is keeping that fight to Dirty Chewbacca. 0.7 seconds separating those two. And Max Verstappen is putting pressure on the Williams of Mecha 84. And that Williams is doing a fantastic job trying to hold off Max Verstappen. Again, 0.5 seconds separating Dirty Chewbacca and Count Dooku. Count Dooku's doing a fantastic job to keep up with the Red Bull. And he is very, very close indeed. That gap now between RKA25 and Kaz 420 is now a 3-second gap, as Dirty Chewbacca and Count Dooku are battling it out here for the final podium place. This is a very, very exciting battle indeed. And DRS does go to the Ferrari. He loses a little bit of time through the chicane, but he is gaining some here. And we've got another safety car out. Not ideal at all. Not what RK25 wants to hear as he makes his way into the pits. He's trying the two-stop strategy. What is that? Is that a set of soft tires? It is a set of soft tires for RK25. And that is softs now for RK25, and the front runners are all going to be on the hard tires. So RK25's got a fantastic opportunity here to really battle his way back up into P1 on a very, very different strategy to the front runners now. CAS 420 does catch up to the safety car, and we've got 11 laps left to go. Safety car still remains out as the rest of the grid start to fall in line behind the safety car. I do suspect that potentially safety car will come in this lap, and if that's the case, RK25, there we have it. Firm safety car in this lap. So RK25 is going to have one hell of a challenge to get himself from 6th up into 1st. He does have the advantage in terms of tyre strategy, but he only has 10 laps to get it done, so let's see what he can do here. See Dirty Chewbacca right on the rear end of that AlphaTauri. CAS 420 back in the drivers up a little bit. It's very, very close. CAS 420 does get us going again. Dirty Chewbacca equally pulls away from Count Dooku, and he is keeping close to CAS 420. And RK25 is already alongside and overtaking Max Verstappen, and he's now got his sights on the Williams of Mecha 84, and he is now side by side, got the inside line, and he gets the overtake done. That is 2 overtakes completed already. He has now got P3 Count Dooku in his sights, and he is making quick work of these overtakes. and this might not be as difficult as you would expect. He is gaining on the Ferrari, and I suspect he'll get this overtake done now. He's using his ERS. He's got a bit of a slipstream here. Does pull out to have a look, but he's just not close enough to get the move done just yet. But he is very close indeed. Just look at how close he is to the Ferrari. I suspect he'll get him down the pit straight here. And look at that exit for the Aston Martin. Side by side. Ferrari is trying to put up a fight, but he is not quick enough. And that is RK25 back up into the podium place. He's now got his sights on Dirty Chewbacca. Can he get the move on the Red Bull? Again and again. It's getting very close, but again, has a look for the move, but just can't get it done at this stage. Not close enough. But if he keeps as close as he is now, he will get one hell of a slipstream down the pit straight again. Just look at how close he is. He is gaining rapidly. He's using his ERS again. He's got plenty of battery here. And it does look like Dirty Chewbacca must be using his ERS as well, because he is defending excellently against the Aston Martin driver. But he does leave quite a big of a gap open there. He does leave quite a gap open for the Aston Martin to slip in. And late braking for Dirty Chewbacca. He does try to defend, but again, RKA25 gets a very good exit out of the corner there, and he gets the overtake done. That is RKA25 up into P2. Dirty Chewbacca is now down into P3, but he's not given up just yet. He can still see RKA25, although with those soft tires, I'm not sure how much longer he will see him for, as RKA25 now got his sights on Kaz 420. 0.8 seconds separate the two, and there is less than 8 laps left to go. Oh, look at that overtake there. Oh, but Kaz 420 is fighting back. That is brilliant defending from Kaz 420. But RK25 does have the RS. But Kaz 420, he's got the inside line, and he is holding RK25 off fantastically here. And for now, Kaz 420 will remain in P1. But surely it is just a matter of time before RK25 gets this move done. It's just a matter of how long Kaz 420 can hold him off for. He's got DRS again, the Aston Martin driver on the Alfa Romeo, or the AlphaTauri. He's just not close enough to get the overtake done yet. Kaz 420 is running out of ERS. It's just got 25% battery power left. that is going to be difficult if he wants to defend off the Aston Martin driver for the next number of laps and try and keep that P1 spot. But you can see the RK25 driver, he does have DRS, he's got ERS, he pulls alongside, he's got the inside line this time, and he's got the overtake done before the corner, and that is RK25 up into P1 again. Give himself a bit of work to do, changing strategy, but that has absolutely paid off for the Aston Martin driver. And we do have yellow flags for Hans. The Williams driver has came off somewhere there and rejoins the track, as his teammate is now chasing down Count Dooku for P4. And as it stands, Sturdy Chewbacca is comfortably in P3 with a 3-second gap to P4, which is the Ferrari of Count Dooku. He just needs to keep it really consistent for these next 4 laps. And the Williams does get DRS here. You can see the rear flap opening there. And he is gaining on the Ferrari. That is very nice indeed. Again, this is the medium versus the hard strategy here, and those medium tires are working very well for the Williams. And he is gaining. He's got DRS. And the Ferrari fights back, and the Ferrari loses out in that battle and spins out as a result. And he's trying to rejoin the track again safely. Oh, that was really unfortunate between Count Dooku and Mecha84. It did look like the Williams driver did have the corner there, though. He was ahead going into the corner, and the Ferrari was just not for backing out at all there. He wanted that spot. Ross Wheels now under pressure from the Ferrari of Count Dooku, but he is equally trying to put some pressure on their DXT Viper. Ross, bit of late braking there. And he did not get a good exit out that corner, and Count Dooku is taking advantage of that. He's got the inside line, and Ross Wheels goes wide as a result. And there's a battle now between Hans and Ross Wheels, and Ross Wheels just staying out on top here, and both drivers make their way onto the grass there. Does look like Hans now gets the overtake done and gets DRS with it. And Ross late braking again right up to the Williams. Both drivers getting DRS again. Got a couple of battles coming up here. Count Dooku versus the XT Viper, just 0.4 seconds separating these two, and there is a DRS zone coming up shortly, and there's just 3 laps to go. What can these guys do? Luxty closing in on I Love Max Verstappen. Very, very close between these two drivers as well, as Count Dooku does get the overtake on DXT Viper, and that is him up into P7 as he begins his recovery drive. And Luxty right on the rear of the Mercedes. I Love Max Verstappen. Pulls alongside. He's got the inside line coming into the corner. And he is ahead coming out of turn 1. And he gets DRS as well. That is Luxty up into P5. He now got his sights on Mecha 84. And it does look like there's been contact there between DXT Viper and Ross Wheels. Not sure what happened between these two drivers, but Ross has lost the front wing as a result of the incident, and Ross will be limping back to the pits to get a new front wing pitted, as Luxty is closing the gap to Mecha 84. He's keeping it tight to the apex there. He takes advantage of Mecha's mistake. He's got DRS, but Mecha's got the inside line, and the Williams keeps the lead going into the corner, but there's a little bit of a nudge there from the Alfa Romeo onto the rear end of the Williams. The Williams goes wide onto the grass a little bit. That gives Luxty the opportunity to get the overtake done, and it also leaves them vulnerable to I Love Max Verstappen, who's got DRS and the inside line again. And the Mercedes does get the overtake on the Williams driver. Can Mecha fight back here? Not much that can be done. I Love Max Verstappen does have DRS there. It's a battle for 5th place. That's what we're looking at right now, with just 2 laps left. 2 laps to go. Can the Williams and Mecha get this overtake done? There's just 1 lap left as RKA25 starts his final lap. What a roller coaster it's been for RKA25, but a fantastic one indeed. Williams drivers throwing everything at the wall here to try and get a move on the Mercedes driver, but it is not looking like it is working just yet, but there is still half a lap to go. He's getting very close indeed. 0.3 seconds. He does get a 3-second time penalty for his troubles, and let's have a look at the penalty situation. Mecha 84 does have 9 seconds of time penalties as Max Verstappen hits the wall. Not sure what happened there, but that does allow Mecha 84 up into 5th place. There is 9 seconds of penalties for the Williams driver versus 5 for Max Verstappen, so the Williams driver is going to have to drive very hard indeed to create a gap big enough, as RKA25 crosses the line in 1st place, Kaz 420 in 2nd, Dirty Chewbacca crosses in P3. Fantastic drive from the Red Bull driver. Luxty P4, and does Mecha do it across P5? And he keeps, he just misses out there. Just Max Verstappen does bump up into P5. Count Dooku in 7th. And there we have the remaining drivers crossing the line. That is our race.